You are listening to Perfect English with Danny. Improve your English every day. Never stop learning. Welcome to a new episode of Perfect English with Danny. We are so sorry about last week as we did face some technical difficulties that prevented us from posting new episodes. But now we're back on track and we will have 2 episodes this week. In this episode, we will talk about music, and in the next episode, we will discuss music in the past and music now. So stay tuned and join us in our theme of the week, music. What do you think of our theme for this week, Ben?
Well, it's one of the most common speaking topics of all time. I mean, you can hardly talk to anyone for longer than 5 minutes and not mention the topic of music.
That's right. People have consumed and enjoyed music for centuries, and music has evolved a lot since its dawn. We might be dinosaurs here, but I still remember the magnetic tape cassette and the vinyl record.
Yeah, and I still remember the time when the compact discs came out, and I couldn't imagine how they were able to pack all these tracks onto a thing so small.
But let's be fair, when the CDs came out, it was a huge leap forward for music as far as sound quality is concerned.
That's right, but I still listen to vinyl records until this very day. They have this unique sound quality that it's not about clarity, but it kind of feels authentic.
I agree, but let's face it, people nowadays listen to music mostly on their phones, tablets, or computers. They just download the music and listen to it wherever they are.
Yeah, the introduction of MP3 and the growth of the internet made all this internet music business possible. Nowadays, you can subscribe to one of the music directories and download as many songs as you like, such as Apple Music, which is the largest player in this field.
That's right. Downloading music as MP3 files is easy. You can download a whole album or individual tracks.
Just let's tell people the difference between an album and a track. The album, as many of you must know, is a collection of songs that is available for download or as a CD or record. You can also refer to the CD or record as an album, but a track is one song or piece of music from an album.
Yeah, and you can save your favorite albums and tracks in playlists so you can find them easily. You can sync the music files on your computer with your phone.
And sync is a short for synchronize, which means to have exactly the same files and data on more than one device. In our case, we're talking about music files.
You can also stream music from the internet or from your computer to other rooms in your home if you have the right equipment. And stream here means that you can play music in real time from one source to another.
But with all these options to enjoy music in the comfort of your own home, people still go to concerts and watch live performances, which might not have the same sound quality of a downloaded file.
That's true. It's a totally different thing to listen to your favorite band performing live away from the controlled environment of the recording studio. It's our nature as people, when we love something or somebody, we need to experience that firsthand. Besides that, concerts are usually a lot of fun and a great way to have your mood uplifted.
Yeah, I mean, no matter how much you listen to the best recording of a rock band at home, things are so different live. For one thing, it's not so cool to get crazy on your own at home, but when the whole crowd goes wild, you can dance to that.
That's right. I remember I had this discussion with one of my friends when I was much younger. I hadn't been to a concert before, but he had. I was arguing that it was stupid to go to concerts where it would be loud and the music wouldn't be of that much of high quality. He told me then you wouldn't know it until you tried it. And he was absolutely right. I still remember the very first rock concert I've been to. Although I was not a big fan of rock music, it was awesome.
Well, talking about rock bands, how many people does it usually take to form a rock band?
Why, do you want to form one? We are too. Well, typically we need 3 more. A rock band usually has a lead singer, a lead guitarist, a keyboard player, a drummer, and a bass guitarist. Some old bands have more members and some have fewer, but this is what a typical rock band consists of.
Well, rock music is just one genre of music. There are many other types of music and people have different tastes in music.
Yeah, but what I believe is that people usually enjoy listening to many types, but they have one favorite type above all the rest. They can listen to classical music such as Beethoven or Mozart music.
Don't we call it classic music?
Not really. A classic film, piece of writing, or piece of music is of very high quality and has become a standard against which similar things are judged. So you can call a Michael Jackson song a classic, but not classical. You see, classical is the music type or genre.
Oh, I see. So besides rock music and classical music, we have so many other types. We have the R&B, which stands for rhythm and blues. It is originally a Black American form of blues music with a strong rhythm.
There is also folk music or country music. It is another popular genre of American music which originated in the 1920s. Country music has its roots from American folk and Western music. It is formed using simple forms of instruments ranging from electric and steel guitars to drums and mandolin or mouth organ. Some very popular country music singers include Shania Twain, Johnny Cash, Taylor Swift, and Kenny Rogers.
There's also jazz, which is identified with swing and blue notes. Jazz has its roots both in the West African and European culture. It is said that jazz is one of America's original art forms and boasts a unique combination of creativity, coactions, and interactivity. Originating in the late 19th to early 20th century, jazz has also played an important role in introducing the world to a number of women performers like Ella Fitzgerald, Betty Crater, Abbey Lincoln, and Ethel Waters.
There is also electronic dance music, which is generally referred to as EDM. This form of music is produced by DJs who add dozens of tones to a piece to create unique music. You can hear them in clubs or even live. Famous EDM artists are Armin van Buuren, Deadmau5, Skrillex, and Tiesto.
There's also pop music. Pop is a term derived from popular. And thus, pop music is known to be a genre of popular music. With its roots in the rock and roll style, this form can include any form of music, ranging from urban and dance to rock, country, and Latin. Instruments highly used are electric guitars, synthesizer drums, as well as bass, and one can listen to this form of music by listening to songs by Britney Spears, Madonna, Beyoncé, Lady Gaga, and, of course, the king of pop, Michael Jackson.
You know, when talking about music and types of music, you can say that you are into a type of music. For example, you can say, I am into jazz, rock, or classical.
You can also use the decade of music instead of the genre. You can say, I'm into the Beatles and other 60s music. Some people are into the 70s, 80s, or 90s music.
Some people are also into soundtracks. They love music composed for movies. And to be honest, there is some great music composed for movies out there. If you ever want to look for some great soundtracks, search for names like Hans Zimmer, John Williams, and Ennio Morricone, among many other film composers.
You know, I usually listen to all types of music. I have favorite songs from almost all genres, but one thing I cannot stand for sure is canned music.
Canned music? What do you mean by canned music?
It's the music you hear in supermarkets, elevators, or somewhere in the background which is artificial and ugly.
Okay, I get it. Like some music you listen to in commercials.
Yeah, that's right. You know, sometimes this can also refer to some so-called singers when they just lip-sync in front of a camera.
Yeah, the song plays in the background and they just move their lips with the music.
It's a shame so many singers nowadays have no clue about music whatsoever.
I mean, they don't need to read music, but at least they need to have a good ear so they can pick out tunes easily.
Yeah, I mean, away from the highly professional musicians of an orchestra, you don't need to read music to even become a musician. In other words, you don't have to be a trained musician. You can play by ear if you want. But you do need to have a good ear to do that.
That's right. So I guess that concludes our talk about music. In the next episode, we will discuss music in the past and music now. And we will try to use the words we learned here in our discussion, and so you may do that as well.
Don't forget to help us promote this podcast by sharing a link with your friends or rating the podcast on your favorite podcast platform where you're listening to us right now. It really helps us grow and stay alive.
You can also tell your friends about it, talk about what you have learned, and this way you may practice what you learn here as well. And don't forget that you can send us any questions you like or suggest themes you would like to learn more about, and we will make sure to include those in the weeks to come. There's our podcast page on my website where you can do just that.
You can find all the links you need in the description of the episode.
That's right. So this is a big thank you for listening to another episode from our podcast, Perfect English with Danny. Ben and I will see you next time. Stay tuned.
And don't forget that you can find the transcript of this episode as a PDF attached to this episode, or you can take the link you can find in the description of the episode to take you to the transcript on our website. Thank you very much and see you next time.